cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is your show, America. It's your show because it's about you. We take your calls and talk to you about your life. The phone number is 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. Daniel is in Midland, Texas. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Doing good, sir. Thank you very much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Oh, not a whole lot. I just have a question for some strategic advice. I'm 30 years old, and I have roughly $75,000 in debt, and currently I work in the oil field, and I make about $90,000 a year. Mm-hmm. I've paid off probably 12, 16, about 18,000 of it over the past year and a half that I've had this job. I'm just trying to see if there's a way I can knock it out a little quicker.
You single?
Yes, sir. No kids.
Okay. Where's all your money going? You're making more money than you've ever made in your life. Yes,
sir. One of the most biggest parts of it is rent in Midland, Texas, is $2,200 a month for a one-bedroom apartment.
Okay. That's $30,000 a year. You make $90,000.
Yes, sir. And then where the debt's coming from that I pay on every month is a truck, a timeshare that I had from when I was 25, credit cards, and then about $6,000 or $7,000 that I owe my parents and back young and dumb mistakes.
Gotcha. Okay. And what do you owe on the truck?
Say that again, sir.
How much do you owe on your truck?
I owe $38,000 from $54,000.
Okay. All right. What would you say if I said your truck was insanity?
Understandable. and the reason why I got it, to be honest with you, Dave, was I've worked all my life and tried to do everything that I could. I didn't complete college, and I was actually got a job out of.
So you deserve to be burdened with debt?
No, sir. No, okay. Sir. No, sir.
This is the way you reward yourself? Is to be burdened with debt?
No, sir. I understand exactly what you're saying. Basically, and the truck might have been a step a little quick too far, but I had never bought myself anything nice before, so that was the kicker. Okay. As
long as you keep believing that crap, you're probably going to be in debt.
Yes, sir.
You don't deserve the truck.
Yes, sir.
Because the truck's not a blessing, dude. It's a curse. You call me up because you're deep in debt, and half of it is a stinking truck. So I got a nice truck. I got a Raptor. They're nice. I want you to have a nice truck. I just don't want your nice truck to have you, and this one's got a chokehold on you. Tap out.
Right. Yes, sir.
That's what I would do. So here's the thing. If you save up and pay for something, you've earned it, you deserve it, and you will enjoy it a lot more. But right now, every time you put the key in the ignition on that thing, you have mixed feelings. Yes, I love my truck, and oh my God, this thing's killing me. Is that right?
Right.
Both those things go through your head simultaneously, don't they?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and so what I would do if I woke up in your shoes is I would get on beans and rice or ice and beans, have no life, get on a written plan, and I would be debt-free in 18 months. And that's if you keep the truck.
Okay.
But listen, if you're not going to tune down where you have no life, all you do is work, barely eat, keep the lights on, pay the rent on time. I don't want to hear about you going anywhere else. You've got to, if you're going to keep this truck. Now, otherwise, sell the truck and you'll be debt free in about 6 months.
Right. Very true.
But if you want to keep the truck, it's out of control. It's a little high.
Okay.
It really is. If you want to keep it, though, you've got to commit to going absolutely crazy where your broke friends think you've lost your mind.
Yes, sir.
Scorched earth. You following me?
Yes, sir.
Because otherwise, this truck, there's no way it makes sense. You start telling me it's going to take me 4 years to get out of debt, and $18,000 is a good, you've made progress. Congratulations. But your progress is too slow. That's why you called me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm going to punch this thing in the face so hard, this situation, that it just falls over.
Correct.
And this intensity is that I'm describing is how people get out of debt. So list your debts smallest to largest, pay minimum payments on everything but the little one. Jump online, start using everydollar.com. It's free. It's a budgeting tool that will show you how to put your budget together in about 10 minutes. And then you don't do anything. No life, complete target. I'm going to keep the truck and I'm going to do nothing. And in 18 months, I'm going to be debt free. If you're not willing to do that, sell the truck.
Okay.
And next time you get ready to buy something that you deserve, if you can't write a check for it, hear my voice in your ear. You don't deserve it if you can't write a check for it.
Yes, I completely understood.
All right, man. You're a good man. You're a hard-working dude. I know that about you because you're working the oil fields and you're probably working a bunch of OT, aren't you?
Well, I'm actually in sales in it, so I mean, my phone is overtime. But no, as far as what I do, I'm the one that has to actually keep the company afloat by going and putting jobs on the board.
Oh, I got you.
My phone rings 365, 24/7 all night.
Yeah, so you're going hard already. Yeah. So it's not, you're not. My point is, you're not used to coming home and sitting with your feet up for 7 hours anyway.
You're right, exactly. Yes.
So you're used to leaning into stuff, you know. So you can lean into this situation the same way you've leaned into your career, and you'll be able to knock this thing out in no time. Hold on, I'm going to send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover. If you're driving a lot, you can tell Kelly that she'll give you the audio version if you want that instead. You might rather have that in the truck or have that on your your iPhone or something. So you can. I'm sure this truck has Wi-Fi in it or Bluetooth in it. So. Thanks for the call, dude. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Couple rules of thumb on cars, folks. Number one, if you can't pay cash, don't buy it. Number two, the total of your vehicles, all your vehicles added up, cars, boats, Sea-Doos, trucks, motorcycles, whatever it is, tractors. If it's got a motor in it, add it all together. If it's more than half your annual income, you have too much tied up in things that are going down in value. You have too many cars. Too expensive a car, whatever it is. So you make $30,000 a year, you don't need a $20,000 car. That's my point. Because it's going down in value and it's sinking you, and you're not out earning the loss in value, the depreciation. So the total of your boats, cars, trucks, tractors, Sea-Doos, motorcycles airplanes should not be more than half your annual income. Whatever's got a motor in it is going down in value. And I'm a boy, so I like everything that has a motor in it. Period. Whatever it is, I like it. And I don't have one of every one of them, but I've got a lot of them. I like them. But that doesn't mean that they won't ruin your life, because they all go down in value, they all break, and they all have to be replaced. And the last thing you need, America, is a freaking car payment. It'll ruin your life. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Kcaa. Slam the door on FeePay. Forget everything you know about selling online, because I'm here to tell you about a new and revolutionary way to buy and sell on the internet. BuySellMakeOffer.com is here to shake up the web. Tired of paying those outrageous fees? You'll never pay a fee with BuySellMakeOffer.com. For a monthly membership package starting at only $7.95, you can list and sell up to 50 items. That would cost you nearly $100 with the other guys. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and sign up today. Are you thirsty for books that will fill your soul with wisdom, joy, and inspiration? Then take a refreshing and nourishing drink at Alice's Quiet Mind Bookstore, located in the heart of the Agape International Spiritual Center in Culver City, which incidentally was recently featured on The Today Show. From aromatic soy candles to best-selling authors like Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith and a whole host of other visionaries, Alice's Quiet Mind Bookstore has everything to soothe your body, spirit, and soul. For more info and directions, visit agapelive.com today.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari discusses the benefits of holistic wealth management.
You need somebody to hold your hand, guide you through the ups and downs of the stock market, the economy, and all the zigs and zags of life. That's why we created the wealth management solution, where we take the holistic approach and look at everything that you've got, not just trying to buy that one stock at the very bottom, sell it at the very top, buy those 2 annuities and 2 REITs and call me in 10 years sort of a thing. No, we do it step by step, day by day. It's a process, and we work with you all along the way.
If you're ready for some help, call Compact Asset Management at 800-388-9700 and schedule your free consultation with Mo Ansari to learn about his holistic approach to wealth management. Call 800-388-9700. That's 800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
Still driving that 1995 car? It's time to find a better ride home at the grand opening of the all-new Freeway Auto Center in San Bernardino. It all starts July 11th at 11 a.m. If you're shopping for a quality, previously owned, clean car, such as a BMW or even a Ford truck, then Freeway Auto Center is the place to be. Freeway Auto Center can show you the road home with all kinds of great American cars, too. It starts the 11th at 11 a.m. this Saturday. Join your friends at Freeway Auto Center. It will be a great day to get some awesome deals at Freeway Auto Center's grand opening. Freeway Auto is motivated to celebrate their new location at 333 South Waterman Avenue in San Bernardino, near Waterman and Mill on the east side of the street. The fun starts July 11th at 11 a.m. Don't miss it with a ribbon-cutting ceremony, some great food, live entertainment, kids' activities, giveaways. Get on the road to home with a great new automobile from Freeway Auto Center at 333 South Waterman Avenue in San Bernardino.
It's time for some Dillylicious food at Pizza Dilly. Pizza Dilly Pizza in Colton, home of the famous 2-foot pizza with 32 slices of simply the best Dillylicious Pizza Dilly mouth-watering pizza. Pizza Dilly has all kinds of lunch specials Monday through Friday, starting at $3.99, all Dillylicious. Stop by, refresh, refuel, have a cold drink, enjoy a tasty salad or a great specialty Dillylicious sub sandwich, or simply Dilly-lightful Pizza Dilly wings. Pizza Dilly is also People Dilly because your friends are all already there enjoying one of Pizza Dilly's giant screens, watching one of their favorite teams, and if you love the Dodgers, you'll love Pizza Dilly, your hometown Dodger station.
Don't miss a minute of the action. Check out the podcasts at www.kcaaradio.com. The station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050 KCAA.
Thanks for joining us, America. We're glad you are here. Josh is with us in St. Louis. Hey, Josh, welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I have a question about converting a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA.
Mm-hmm.
I have TSP with about 75 in it. My wife's got a 401k from her old job with about 45 in it, and we just sold an investment property. We're expecting a check of about $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if we should take this money and use it to pay the taxes to convert the traditional to Roth.
So the TSP, you no longer work for the government?
No, I still work for the government. I just constantly hear you say Roth's a better option.
Yeah, you can't pull the TSP out while you work there, though.
Oh, okay. I did not understand that.
Yeah, it's stuck there as long as you're there. And the your wife had an IRA with a former employer. She can, or a 401k. She can roll that to an IRA and then convert that to a Roth. How much is in that?
$45,000.
Okay, and you got 55 out of that. So, what's your household income?
About 75.
Okay, so you're in 25% tax bracket. So whatever you move, 25% of that's going to be due in taxes. So if we move 40, you're going to have 10 in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So $11,000 you need to set aside in taxes out of your 55. Do you have any taxes from the sale of the rental property?
Yeah, that's being factored in. I have a accountant we're going to set aside some of that money for the capital gains and the recapture.
So net of those taxes, you have 55.
I'm sorry, say that again?
You have 55 after you set those taxes aside?
No.
Okay, so how much are those taxes?
We're only thinking maybe like $6,000.
Okay. So if you got 11,000 from converting hers to a Roth and 6,000 from that, that's 17 of your 55, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to set the taxes aside. Don't get behind with the KGB. I mean the IRS. You don't want them messing with you. But yeah, I would take hers and roll it to a Roth. And an easy way to do that, if you don't have a mutual fund broker, is just go to DaveRamsey.com and click on ELP for investing. They'll sit down with you, teach you what you're doing, so you'll understand what you're doing, and you make the decision on some mutual funds. When it's over $10,000, and this is, I generally recommend, and I personally do, spread my investing across 4 types of mutual funds. I put a fourth of it in each. And so in this case, you got $40,000, going to be about $10,000 in each of these categories: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. And I spread it across those, and I look for mutual funds that have at least a 10-year track record is my preference there. Now, so that's how I would do it, and just check with an endorsed local provider to do that. If you're new to the mutual fund investing world, folks, the title of the mutual fund, the category of mutual fund, if you listen to it, it tells you what kind of investment is inside the mutual fund. If someone calls it a bond fund, then what they mean is, technically, usually, that is a corporate bond mutual fund. So that mutual fund buys corporate bonds, and they shorten it and call it a bond fund. An international fund would be buying stocks in companies where? Internationally. By the way, a pure international fund doesn't have any U.S. companies in it, only foreign companies. It's only international. By definition, if it was in the U.S., it would not be international, right? So that tells you what that is. So a fourth of your money is going, quote, into overseas companies. So you're taking advantage of some of the brands that you hear that come from other countries, and there's a lot of them. Now, then in addition to that, the growth and income fund. So what are those stocks doing? Well, some of those are companies that are growing, and some of those are companies that are not as growth-oriented, but they produce income. They're kind of boring. They just sit there and spit out money called dividends. But they don't. The stock price doesn't go up much. It's the profits that are coming to you. A growth fund, guess what those are invested in? Companies that are growing. An aggressive growth fund, guess what that is? It's the wild child of the 4. It's the crazy boy. Okay, it's up and down and crazy. It's startup companies, smaller companies, companies in the tech world, something that's unpredictable, a little more volatile, and so it's got tremendous upside but tremendous downside. So if you were to plot these on a graph in terms of volatility, the calmest would be the growth and income, the middle would be the growth, the wildest would be the aggressive growth, and a good international will look about like a growth fund looks because it's growth stocks in other countries. If you're going to plot the hills and valleys, think of a mountain with a graph going up and then a graph going down, then a graph going up when the market price goes up or down. And the good news is you've always got something to be happy about. When the market's shooting up, that aggressive growth is going to make you smile. When the market's shooting down, it's going to make you cry, but you're going to be really glad you had a growth in income, which is actually calmer than, less volatile than, the overall stock market. The beta, which is the measure of the volatility, the height and frequency of those hills and valleys on that graph, that measures volatility, right? Shooting up, shooting down in price. How crazy is the roller coaster? That's your beta. The beta on a growth and income, the statistical measure of volatility or risk, is calmer than the overall stock market and S&P 500 fund. But it may underperform unless you select very carefully. You can find them that outperform the market and are calmer than the market. A growth should be a beta about like the market, but should outperform the market, meaning it should give you better rate of return than the S&P. And you can find those. There's a lot of articles going around right now that say you should just buy the S&P. Just buy the S&P 500. Quit thinking. Just buy the S&P 500. You'll be just fine. Because most mutual funds don't outperform. You've seen that article. It's been going around a lot lately. A couple of books came out this year. People saying, well, most mutual funds don't outperform. Most mutual funds don't outperform the S&P. They don't outperform the market. So just buy the S&P and you'll at least do better than most mutual funds. Well, how about I get the best ones, since I can look at the math on them, and just buy stuff that does outperform? Why don't I just do that? Why do I surrender to mediocrity? Because you wrote a book. Give me a break. It's not going to happen. So it's not real hard to sit down with an endorsed local provider. It's actually not even hard to Google it and find funds with American Funds or Fidelity or Vanguard that outperform the S&P 500. It's really not rocket science. It's really not. And people say, well, you just be a passive investor. Just ride the market. Why? Why do I want to be a passive anything? I don't want to be passive about anything. I don't want mediocre to be my brand. Let's just be passive. I want to have just an average marriage. I want to be average with my money. I definitely want my kids to be average, so they live in my basement. Oh my gosh, why would average and mediocre be your target? Because you surrender, because some people aren't. Excellent. No one wins in that career. Yeah, but somebody does. 80% of the people that start out in that career fail. 80% of the people start out in any career fail. Think about it. 20% of the people make 80% of the money. That's the Pareto principle. There's a reason for that. They're performers. And guess what? Mutual funds are no different. 80% of mutual funds, well, that means 20% don't. 80% don't keep up, or 90% don't keep up with S&P. They quote all these different figures. Some of them are just made up. God, the lack of analysis in this financial world is just disturbing to me. But the assumption of mediocrity and that somehow you're trapped and you can't win, I mean, that's just a liberal mentality. I don't believe it. You have a destiny. Go get it. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. You have an opportunity. Go seize it. And do it with your investing, too. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
This is KCAA.
California headline news. San Francisco Sheriff Rosmer Karimi holds a news conference to, in his words, set the record straight about the Pier 14 shooter's previous release.
What we're seeing everywhere is a lot of finger pointing. And what we're seeing is a lot of distortion of facts.
Mayor Karimi saying federal officials never provided San Francisco police with a warrant or instructions to keep Francisco Sanchez in custody. No voluntary extension of detainment ever issued. That's why the sheriff says Sanchez was released and how he was free when last week's shooting of Kate Steinle occurred. Legislation of the state capitol would impose tougher penalties on anyone found flying a drone over a disaster or hazardous area.
It's going to levy high fine and or possible incarceration on anyone who breaks the law.
Senator Chet Gaines, the steady drop in California gas prices coming to an end. Analysts expecting a rise of up to 30 cents in the coming days. Geico weather, thunderstorms in parts of the northern region. Jeff Scott, California News.
You're running your business, and we at Wix.com know things can get stressful. But creating your website doesn't have to be. With Wix, you can create a professional website all by yourself. It's easy and free. You don't have to be a programmer. Just drag and drop everything into place. It's your website, your style. Show the world what you can do. Go to Wix.com and create your own stunning website today. It's easy and free.
I'm Jay Farner with some great news on how you could save an average of $3,000 per year on your mortgage. Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. The HARP guidelines have changed. There's less paperwork and often no appraisal required. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda. Are you particular about the vitamins and supplements you take? Have you found that the big chain stores simply don't have what you need? Then you should know about the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. You'll find rock-bottom prices on gourmet, top-quality vitamins and mineral supplements at the Vitamin Center. Get 30% off on all supplements and homeopathic products. All, not just selected merchandise. In addition, you'll find 30% off on all cosmetics, soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, makeup, hair coloring, and lip gloss. And all tea products are discounted 20%. Why go anywhere else? See for yourself at the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills, 5007 Canaan Road in Agora Hills. Or check out the savings and place your order online, VitaminCenterAgoraHills.com. Start saving by getting what you need from the Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. And tell a friend that the Vitamin Center ships nationwide. Call 818-707-0005. That's 818-707-0005. The Vitamin Center of Agora Hills. Here's all you need to know. There's a new cool way to sell your unwanted stuff online. It's buysellmakeoffer.com. Buysellmakeoffer.com. You're not going to believe it. Join the legions of web sellers and buyers who are turning to buysellmakeoffer.com today. Never pay fees again. For a low monthly membership of $7.95, you can sell up to 50 items, and there's a 60-day free trial membership to get you started. You can even produce your own infomercial to sell your products and upload the video for the world to see. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com.
Are you a fan of all things entertainment? Do you love talking about your favorite celebrities and those can't-miss movies? Do you have a passion for some of your favorite TV shows and music? Hey, this is Brad Dalius, host of The Beat Pod Show. Tune in each week for topics like these and more, as I'll get you caught up on all the latest entertainment news direct from Hollywood. We'll check in on the box office and talk about new movie releases for when you head out to the theaters. Every week, I'll also interview the stars themselves, providing you access to the people you want to hear from and to give you an inside look into their busy lives. From up-and-coming talent to some of the biggest headliners of our day, we'll cover them all each and every week.
Sunday at 11 a.m. and Mondays at 3 p.m.
So join me, Brad Dalius, for The Beat Pod Show, right here on CNBC, KCAA, 1050 a.m.
We know you're there. We can hear you talking on AM 1050 KCAA.
Is your radio station dull and boring like most corporate-owned stations on the dial? Then it's time to tune to KCAA 1050 AM. It will blow your mind and maybe expand it too. KCAA is your independently owned go-to station in the Inland Empire. It's a veritable cornucopia of crazy, an assemblage of awesome and cool, and it's a little weird too. KCAA pumps out more local and national radio each week than most major networks while offering CNBC business news headlines during the week and NBC sports news on weekends. KCAA is unique, interesting, quirky, and sometimes outlandishly crazy, which adds up to a high volume of awesome. And for you audiophiles, KCAA delivers FM sound quality to our transmitter, which is why KCAA is the best-sounding AM station on the dial. So make your day with KCAA.
America. Kate is in Tampa. Hi, Kate. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I'm in charge of the finances in my family. It's my husband and my 2-year-old daughter and myself. And I bought the financial peace planner because we can't attend the classes because my husband's in the military and I'm a teacher and it's just too late during the day. And I was sitting down with my husband going over it and explaining to him and trying to set up a budget and, talk to him about it. And he makes jokes about it. And I'm really fearful because he is being deployed in October and we're very deeply in debt. And I just don't know what to do to get him to take it seriously. And I'm a big part of it because I don't know how to tell him no. So I'll let him buy stuff or I'll go out and buy him stuff because I'm not good at telling him no.
How old are you guys?
29 and 30.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I don't know exactly what you say to him, but here's the message that you need to deliver. That you have no desire to be his mother.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be your mother. I'm tired of being your mother. You're not a little boy. You're a full-grown man, and I need you to act like it. And a full-grown man who's willing to put his life on the line for the sake of this country also should put his life on the line for his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to tell him that.
Yeah.
And it's you.
I kind of bordered on that because I've broken down into tears over the amount of debt we have, and we're living basically paycheck to paycheck, and I'll think, oh, good, we'll have $600 left over at the end of this month. And
you're trying to put your finger in the dike. You're trying to put your finger in a dam that's leaking. It's going to bust and run over the top of you because you two aren't working on it together. He's screwing this whole thing up faster than you can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you won't tell him no, and he's acting like a little boy. And he needs to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he doesn't need to become a nerd and do the accounting. He's not going to do accounting. You're by nature more accounting and nerdy than he is.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always going to be the one that writes the checks, but you don't need to be the only adult in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way this is going down. Am I being too blunt?
No, that's everything that I see that I can't tell him.
Then you need to tell him.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, you're getting ready to be deployed. I have no desire to manage life by myself while you're deployed or while you're here. I desperately need you to be a man and stand up and help me make these decisions for our life. It's not funny and it's not cute that you won't do a budget and you run around saying, Mama won't give me money. What are you, 12?
Yeah, they call me the off-base commander at his job because he always tells us I won't let him have money.
Well, they are a bunch of children that he's working with. And they've got some growing up to do, too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're facing here. So he's got to man up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we work with military all the time. It's a bunch of young guys, and they're studs. They're awesome young gals. They're awesome people, and they put their life on the line for this country, and we appreciate them. And on the one hand, on the other hand, some of them do stupid on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like because they're so manly in their warrior self that when they get home, they have to be a little boy. And they can't do that. You're not the off-base commander. I don't want to be your off-base commander. I didn't marry somebody that I wanted to manage. So I'm telling you, pick a fight. That's what I'm telling you. Because here's what's going to happen if you don't. 5 years from now, 7 years from now, 3 years from now, you're going to have had enough, and the switch is going to flip, and you're going to leave, and there won't be no getting you back. Because you will go over the edge on this relationship. I've done financial counseling for 30 years. I've met so many women that their husbands wouldn't man up. They wouldn't man up. They wouldn't man up. They wouldn't man up. And finally, she's had it, and you can't reel her back in for nothing. She's gone. Because once you've had it, you've had it. You right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it time and time again. You've been married 6 years, haven't you?
4.
4. Yeah, you got all the symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
You got all the symptoms. You're the right age group and everything. And you got it 3 to 5 years before this blows up on average if you don't fix it. You can hold your breath. You've been holding your breath all this time, acting like it's all okay, and you're walking around being the only adult in the house, and you're carrying all the fear because you're the only ones being responsible. And he's out of line, kiddo, I'm telling you. You want to put him on the phone, I'll talk to him.
He's still at work.
Okay, well, you can tell him he has a new jerk in his life, and it's me. As much as I love him and appreciate him for defending this country, I'm also going to take him to task on his husband skills. Because they ain't there. Now, if you can't get through to him and the two of you can't have a conversation that brings him around, you need to go see a marriage counselor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've done that before, and it seems like he doesn't respond. He'll sit there quietly and not say anything. So it's a one-way conversation, which makes me even more upset. So I end up just walking away because I can't deal with it, and I do everything on my own again. And then I look at our bills and our outgoing money. And
then again, you reach the end of your rope and you call me.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, you're going to reach the end of the rope. And my point is, you're going to reach the end of your rope one time, and there won't be no getting you back. So you need to tell him. You need to tell him that he's on a path to we're on a track here. The trajectory of our marriage is that it ends.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't. That's not tomorrow. And I'm not threatening you, but you need to get the idea here, Bubba, that we're going to have to work together and we're going to have to both be adults because I'm completely done with you being a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
Call his manhood out. Because I am. That's your only shot. Because this is not going to get better until this issue gets better in your house. And I can't make him grow up, and you can't make him grow up. He's got to decide to go, okay, she's serious. This is no longer cute. It's no longer something I joke about with my buddies at work, that she's the commander. I'm not going to talk about that, the base command. We're not going to do that anymore. All of a sudden, I'm just going to be a man, and I'm going to serve my wife and walk with her. Yes, you'll be writing the checks because you're always the one that does the numbers, but we're going to make decisions together as two grown-up adults about our money and about our future and about our life.
Mm-hmm.
And, and when that happens, you're going to have a whole new husband.
Okay.
And it can happen. He can just decide to do that tomorrow. And here's the thing. He's not a bad guy.
No.
He's just fallen into the trap of being typical and normal. The number one cause of divorce in North America today, money fights and money problems. Why? Stuff like I'm talking about right here. The guy won't man up, or the girl decides she's a princess and she needs a daddy instead of a husband.
Mm-hmm.
It's the opposite of what you're facing.
Yeah, well, the number one issue I'm having is I keep telling him to hand over his credit card because I've had that. I've paid that thing off.
No. His mother tells him to hand over his credit cards. When he decides he's a man, he decides what to do with his credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Quit being his mother.
Okay.
I'm tired of being your mother.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't marry a man to be his mother. Every time you say something like that, you're giving him his allowance. The guys at work are making fun because you're the base commander. I'm telling him he's got to do this. I'm telling him he's got to do that. All you're doing is mothering this little boy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time for him to stop it. I hope that helps you, kiddo.
It does. Thank you so much.
Hold on the line. I'm going to send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, in case something of this gets through and you guys have a better thing to work from than the Financial Peace Planner. It's not as good. So it's a decent workbook, but this is a better book. I'll give it to you. Hold on. And tell him I said thanks for serving his country, but man up. You can tell him Dave Ramsey said that. We have a manhood crisis in this culture. We've completely wussified the males in this culture. It's ridiculous. Some of you guys need to stand up. Really. Some of you women, too. I mean, it's just, my gosh. We have the emotional maturity of 12-year-olds walking around adult bodies out there. This is crazy, y'all. You think she's the only one? No, that's a normal situation. Doesn't that scare the crap out of you? It should. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
This is KCAA.
Wet'n'Wild Palm Springs is the one where you get big water park fun. Barefootin' in the sun, barefootin', flow rider barefootin', Wet 'n Wild barefootin'. Bring your friends and stay all day. Wet 'n Wild is your place to play barefootin'.
Yeah, you gotta get barefootin' this summer at Wet 'n Wild. Dive into all the thrills, all the action, all the fun. Take on awesome slides and rides. There's big fun for kids and much more. This summer, we have extended hours, dive-in movies every Friday, and everyone gets free tubes. Plus, save $7 on admission when you buy online or grab discount coupons at area Jack in the Box restaurants. For your best summer ever, it's Wet 'n Wild.
Slipping, sliding, barefootin', getting soaked barefootin', Wet 'n Wild barefootin',
Wet 'n Wild.
Barefootin', Wet 'n Wild barefootin'.
Wet 'n Wild. Park open daily.
Still driving that 1995 car? It's time to find a better ride home at the grand opening of the all-new Freeway Auto Center in San Bernardino. It all starts July 11th at 11 a.m. If you're shopping for a quality, previously owned, clean car, such as a BMW or even a Ford truck, then Freeway Auto Center is the place to be. Freeway Auto Center can show you the road home with all kinds of great American cars, too. It starts the 11th at 11 a.m. this Saturday. Join your friends at Freeway Auto Center. It will be a great day to get some awesome deals at Freeway Auto Center's grand opening. Freeway Auto is motivated to celebrate their new location at 333 South Waterman Avenue in San Bernardino, near Waterman and Mill on the east side of the street. The fun starts July 11th at 11 a.m. Don't miss it with a ribbon-cutting ceremony, some great food, live entertainment, kids' activities, giveaways. Get on the road to home with a great new automobile from Freeway Auto Center at 333 South Waterman Avenue in San Bernardino.
Like to spend a few days in another world? Then write this down. Golden Bear Cottages, Big Bear Lake. Now, listen, this is not some corporate-owned operation. It's family-owned and operated by some real nice people. Unique? Oh, you bet. Golden Bear Cottages features 28 one-of-a-kind cabins on a 5-acre historic site. Great for families, couples, and groups. And cabins are available with 1 to 7 bedrooms. Golden Bear Cottages is just a stone's throw from Big Bear Lake and super close to 3 great ski areas. Now, I could go on all day about Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear, but to see everything, just go to goldenbear.net. Again, goldenbear.net. Golden Bear Cottages in Big Bear. Clean, comfortable, and affordable. Check them out. goldenbear.net.
Are you looking for the right place to purchase your landscaping items? Well, come see us at Hydroscape. Hydroscape offers a large selection of irrigation products including Irritrol and Toro, such as their efficient precision nozzles. For 40 years, Hydroscape has been family-owned and operated, serving Southern California. With 17 locations, our knowledgeable and experienced staff is equipped to help you with all your irrigation, landscape, and outdoor living projects. Whether you're installing irrigation systems, wanting to maintain a healthy landscape, or simply create a beautiful lit space for outdoor entertaining, Hydroscape is the place to go. Visit our website at hydroscape.com for more information and find helpful articles on our blog.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Movie with any purchase of $2.99 or more during the month of June. Go to blinds.com/easy for details. Limit one per household. Kathy from California gives us our question. She says, which of my debts should I pay off first? Your smallest. You list your debts, smallest to largest. You pay minimum payments on everything but the little one, not counting your home. And you attack the little one with a vengeance. You sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. You take an extra job. You don't see the inside of a restaurant unless you're working there. You go on a scorched earth budget, and every dollar you can squeeze out of your life or extra income you can create, you throw it at that smallest debt until it's gone. When that's gone, you take that payment and you use every dollar you can find and the former payment that you had, and you attack the next one down. When those two debts are gone, you take the payments you used to pay there and every other dollar we can squeeze out of our budget, and we attack the next one down. And so on, then the next one down, and so on, then the next one down. And every time you pay off one, you have more money to pay off another. That's why we call it the debt snowball, because every time the snowball rolls over, it picks up more snow. Well, Dave, wouldn't it be proper and mathematically correct to pay off the highest interest rate first? Yes, darling, it would. But if we were doing math, we wouldn't have credit card debt. This is not a math problem. It's a behavior problem. And to modify behavior, you need quick wins. And so while I'm a math nerd and my natural tendency would be to do the math correctly, what we've discovered in 25 years of teaching millions of Americans how to get out of debt is that behavior matters more, and paying off that smallest debt gives you an aha moment, gives you a yippee moment, gives you hope, and when hope happens, you continue. So you pay off that smallest one, you have a yeah moment, And then you pay off another one. You're like, well, this is working. Yeah. Pay off another one. You go, hey, baby, come here and look at this. Look at what we're doing. This is working. And you're putting it on the refrigerator, and you're marking through it in big red lines every time you pay off another one, and you're tracking your progress. When you've got traction, you'll stay with something. Traction means hope. Hope that we're going to get through, and hope will be finished. This is working. When you go on a diet and you lose weight the first week, you'll keep doing it. When you go on a diet and gain weight the first 2 weeks, you will quit going to the Y. And you'll eat your donuts. You have to see progress. We humans, I don't care if you got a master's degree in psychology, we have to see progress. And here's the difference in this plan and other people's plans where they pay off the highest interest rate first. This plan works and that plan doesn't. That's the difference. You see, again, we've had 4 million people go through Financial Peace University. 10 million people listening to this show. 11 million people buy books. We know what works. This is not our first ride on this cabbage truck. So what works is listing your debts, smallest to largest, paying minimum payments on everything but the little one, and working it off in that order. Grant is with us in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Grant. How are you?
Good, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Got a life insurance question. My wife and I got married 4 years ago. We both did a 10-year, $250,000 policy. But since then, we now have 2 kids. My wife stays at home, and my income has tripled. So life insurance, the $250 for each of us, isn't adequate anymore. So we have 6 years left on that, and we're still working the debt snowball. So I just wanted to see what your thought was on adding more, what the term should be, and so on. Because the 10-year one that we have now is going to expire in 6 years. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
How old are you?
I'm 28. My wife is 30.
Either one of you smoke?
Neither of us do.
Are you overweight?
Nope.
Okay. I think if you go to XanderInsurance.com, XanderInsurance.com, and run a quote on a 15-year level term policy, I think you'll find it's cheaper than what you're paying for the $250. Apples to apples, $250 to $250, because prices have gone down in term life insurance during the last several years. And when you shop like a place like Xander, where they go amongst a bazillion different companies and get you the best price, you'll get the best possible deal that way. And you're going to find the price $250 to $250. In other words, you could buy a brand new policy, even though you're 6 years older, for $250,000. That is 15 years level from now, and it's going to be cheaper than what you're paying for the $250 now, or very, very, very close. You follow me?
Yeah.
So having said that, then what would we do? We would buy the proper amount of insurance today for 15 years fixed going forward and cancel the other 2.
Okay.
Is what I would do. Now, the proper amount would be, what is your income, sir?
This year should be around 65.
65,000? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you need 700,000 to $1 million, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Then she would have that to invest, and she could reproduce your income off of those investments. If she had 800,000 or 700,000 to invest, she can make $60,000 off that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what you need on you. So that's obviously going to cost more than what you're paying now.
Right.
But it's still cheap as young as you guys are.
Okay.
Then on her, she's now a stay-at-home full-time mom, right?
Correct.
And so, we recommend anywhere from $250,000 to $400,000 on a stay-at-home full-time mom. So anywhere in there is fine.
Okay.
But what's going to be amazing to you is that it's not much difference on a 30-year-old lady. The cost of it just doesn't cost that much. It's like $100 a year difference or something.
Okay.
It's just not going to be. It's not going to change your life. You follow me? It's not. You're not going to have to go, oh God, that's a car payment, because it's not. It's not that expensive. So go to Xander Insurance and shop a couple of different amounts like that. Do the $250 just as an experiment on a 15-year fixed and our 15-year level term. And then once you've done that, then go and quote, $700 on you and $900 on you and $1 million on you, and look at it and see what the differences are, okay?
Okay.
And then quote $250 or $300 on her, and then quote $400 on her.
Okay.
And just see what the differences are. And then you can decide in there what you want to do. But you don't need any more than $400 on her and $1 million on you. You don't need any less than $250 on her and $700 on you.
Okay.
Because that way she's taken care of and she's not producing an income today. So what we've got to do in her case, were she to pass away, is you got to hire Mary Poppins to take care of these kids, and that's going to take $30,000 a year, and $400,000 invested would do that.
Okay.
That's how I came up with that number.
Gotcha.
Is I'm trying to replace the cost of the chores that mommy does.
Right.
And there's a lot of them. So, cool. So, we actually put an economic value on motherhood. Go figure. But that's what we're doing there. So, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you joining us. And thanks for listening in Phoenix. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jessica is on Twitter following me at Dave Ramsey. What is your opinion of the stock market climb the last few weeks? Is it overinflated or overvalued? It might be. I don't invest for the next few weeks, though. I'm 55, and I probably won't touch the money I'm putting in the stock market until I'm 75. Will it go up over the next 20 years? My prediction is yes. Will it go down during that time and up and then down during that time? My prediction is yes. It will go up and it will go down. But the net effect 20 years from now is that it will have gone up substantially. And so I continue to invest based on the long term, not based on whether it's overvalued today. I put money in there this week. I have an automatic draft on my checking account, and I don't care what the Dow is. I always put money in there every single month. It automatically comes out of my checking account. And because I don't invest based on what's happening today, I invest on what's happening 20 years from now, and 15 years from now, and 10 years from now. And that's how I make my investment decisions. Otherwise, you're speculating, which is also known as gambling, and you're trying to time the market. I'm going to wait on it to go down. You might be waiting a long time. I'm going to wait on it to go up. You might be waiting a long time. Well, it's higher than it's ever been. So? It's always higher than it's ever been. At some point, that's how it's higher than it's ever been. That's how that works logically. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
This is KCAA Loma Linda, the station that leaves no listener behind. CNBC News is next, a courtesy of buysellmakeoffer.com, where you can post a video about items you have for sale. Sign up now. It's free. This is KCAA Loma Linda, the station that leaves no listener behind. CNBC News is next, a courtesy of buysellmakeoffer.com, where you can post a video about items you have for sale. Sign up now. It's free.
The Dow is up 245 points and NASDAQ higher by 84. Treasury Secretary Jacob Lew tells a forum in New York that he's cautiously optimistic that Greece's latest offer will resolve a debt standoff and allow the country to remain in the Eurozone. Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen said today the Fed is on track to start raising interest rates later this year, but she is still concerned that the labor market remains weak. Business may be growing more confident about the future. The Commerce Department says wholesalers boosted their stockpiles in May by almost 1%, the largest amount in 6 months. American Airlines is scaling back its plans for increased flying this year amid signs that average fares are declining. The announcement sent airline stocks at least 3% higher. And just ahead of new contract talks with its unions, Ford says it's planning to move small car production from Michigan overseas, most likely to Mexico in 2018. John Lesher, CNBC Radio.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH Plus. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
Do you want to learn how to earn commissions of up to 20% by laundering millions of foreign dollars?
Well, we can't help you with that. But among the many IT problems we solve, Barracuda's email security solutions keep email phishing attacks like this from entering your business network and any valuable data from leaking out. Reclaim your network like 150,000 other businesses have. To learn more about stopping email-borne threats, visit barracuda.com/email.
Good afternoon. 102 Mark Westwood with you with the latest in local and live news here on KCAA. Linda Fabre has been named the new Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources for San Bernardino County Schools. Fabre, who is the current Director of Risk Management Services for the county schools, has a 38-year career in education. She will start her new position on July 13th. The average price of a gallon of self-serve regular gasoline in the Inland Empire recorded its largest daily increase since May 1st. Rising 7.8 cents to $3.56 a gallon. Local authorities seem to have no explanations other than it's just happening because of the season. The average price in Riverside and San Bernardino counties has dropped 48 cents of the previous 52 days, but according to figures from the AAA and Oil Price Information Service, it's 7.5 cents more than a week ago, but 9.8 cents less than a month ago. Police received a report of a bomb threat outside of a resort in the 600 block of Warm Sands Drive in Palm Springs. 2 people from the resort were removed out of the location, and Warm Sands Drive was closed down for approximately 1 hour as a safety precaution. The incident was a hoax, which they call swatting. 2 residents of Homeland have been arrested in Hemet, both on multiple charges. Oscar Oropeza, 24, and Frank Beltran, 29, did not pull over after a routine traffic stop in the 2500 block of West Florida Avenue. The driver remained in the car as the passenger fled. After it was stopped, the passenger was apprehended, and a backpack was found to be containing over 3 pounds of methamphetamines with a street value of approximately $16,000. 2 men were wounded in 2 separate shootings in San Bernardino yesterday. Shortly before 1 a.m., a man was shot while sitting in his car near the intersection of Mill and Pepper Avenue. A car described as a black Dodge Charger pulled up, and someone inside opened fire on him. That's the latest in news from KCAA. Taking a look at the weather situation, well, mostly cloudy, becoming partly sunny today. 15% chance of light rain and drizzles tonight. Highs near 76, lows around 59. Currently 73 degrees as we take a look at Inland Empire traffic. We do have a SIG alert in Riverside. An on-ramp is blocked, 91 westbound at La Sierra Avenue. And that SIG alert is the La Sierra Avenue on-ramp to the 91 west. An injured crash is blocking the on-ramp and blocking and backing up traffic. Ontario, accident 2 lanes, got the lanes blocked on the 60, eastbound on I-15. And in Corona, stop-and-go traffic on I-215, northbound to Mescal Canyon Road and Highway 91. Let's look at your weather, traffic, and news from the only station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA, 1050 AM.
Like to spend a...
CNBC Business News is an exclusive presentation of KCAA Radio and buysellmakeoffer.com, where you can sell as much as you want for the next 60 days without paying any fees whatsoever. Buysellmakeoffer.com is the new, exciting way to sell your stuff online by posting videos of everything you want to sell. Sell your car, furniture, video games, household items, clothes, even your home at buysellmakeoffer.com. This is your official invitation to sell your stuff right now. The service is free for the next 60 days, and once you see how easy it is, you'll want to sign up for more. And since there are no item fees, it's much cheaper than eBay, and it's also more secure than Craigslist. And as another bonus, you might even win a Samsung tablet, Amazon gift cards, and other cool prizes. BuySellMakeOffer.com's video posting experience is the future of online selling. You can even Skype to talk to your buyer or seller. So get started now, because BuySellMakeOffer.com is free for the next 60 days. Set up your video showcase right now at buysellmakeoffer.com. It's the future of online buying and selling.
Go ahead and say it. We're all ears. AM 1050 KCAA.
You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And
Ron's Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, poke fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content this morning, please join me in welcoming our featured guest, Lisa Duarte, Legacy Group Realty. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Of course, another beautiful day in Southern California, and we are celebrating. Today would be National Pina Colada Day. It's almost 5 o'clock somewhere, so I will be celebrating. I don't know, maybe I'll stick with my martini, but we'll see about that. National Pina Colada Day. Sounds a little fun to me. On the flip side of the coin, I don't know about fun here. Oreos getting thinner? How could they do that to our Oreos?
You know better than that.
Unbelievable. The dip in Oreos, not with the pina colada, but a little Oreos there. I've been known to indulge myself. Think about this. Why are they doing this? It can't be because of the calories. The new Oreo is 140 calories for 4 cookies. The old one was 160 calories for 3 cookies.
What are you doing?
Oh, well, we'll move along. And did you check the news this morning? At least we finally got rid of the Confederate flag. Who cares? I mean, unbelievable that we've made such a big deal out of the Confederate flag. You know, I watch this, what's going on, and I'm starting to use the term the silent majority. Silent majority. Now, I understand there's a lot of people that think that the Civil War was about slavery. That was a secondary reason for the Civil War. The main reason for the Civil War was the states wanting to secede from the Union. They didn't like the control from the North against the South. Control? Are we seeing that again? Now, if we get rid of the Confederate flag, and I saw earlier this week that we did have that issue that the courts are saying Redskins, that's a derogatory term from the Washington football team. You know, I do remember, I shouldn't say I remember, I have read that George Washington had slaves. So do we have to change the name of that state up north? Do we have to change the name of the capital of the country? You know, we might find somebody that's getting offended by that as well. How far are we going to go? Just a question to pose to you this morning. Speaking about how far are we going to go, do you think that this whole Confederate flag issue is going to put Nikki Haley, the governor of South Carolina, is it going to put her on the GOP ticket? Do you think this is going to be her stepping block to get up there to running for the vice presidency? Could be a stepping block right there. I don't know. Moving a little bit closer to home, how about Rudy Giuliani in the news again? He keeps himself relevant on a regular basis, not about the hacking this time, but we will talk about that hacking and the government losing 21.5 million people's personal data and the friends of those people. Think about that one. We haven't heard that too much before, that hacking, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The mayor, Giuliani, talking about sanctuary cities and this horrific story out of San Francisco where Kate Steinle was killed by a 5-time felon, illegal immigrant, coming back to the country over and over and still out of jail. So have you signed the petition for Kate's Law? It's a new one going around. Felons, and it's not the misdemeanors, but criminal felons who come back into the country after being kicked out, 5 years mandatory federal prison term. Second-time offenders, 10 years. Third-time offender, you get 20 years. So think about that. That's 35 years between all of those. Maybe it'll save some of the citizens from people like this character up in San Francisco. And I would suggest the sanctuary cities that decide they don't want to follow federal law, cut off federal funding. I bet they follow federal law a lot quicker if they get no federal money. Again, whether you're for the sanctuary cities or not, I hope you're for following the law. If you don't like the law, change it the proper way. Speaking of changing it the proper way, apparently the president has decided the proper way is with his pen. Unfortunately, the 5th District Court of Appeals, or Circuit Court, they're saying that his pen isn't quite as mighty as he thought it was. A judge down there calling Department of Homeland Security to get in front and find out why they decided they're not going to follow the court order. And a hearing today on the president's amnesty orders doesn't look good for that president right there, with 2 out of the 3 judges that are on this 5th Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals already pretty much having voted against the president, but they'll keep on trying to see if he can get that pen working. Continuing on. You know, I've been talking to you about the loons in our country now that are really putting down the police. I was at the Anaheim City Council earlier this week listening to some people after a police officer, decorated police officer, had died, and they were honoring him at the city council. You had a bunch of people getting up talking about how you can't call the police, that they only kill people. And I had a conversation with a few police officers outside, and I said, you know, wonder when their communities have problems, who do they call? Do they call the local gang leader, or do they call the police? Are they calling 911? Where are they calling? Just a thought there, but the reason I bring this up is we're now seeing murder rates soaring in the U.S. Again, talking to the police officers, a lot of them are trying to get out of the line of work. They're saying that it's not worth it anymore. The risk from the management is greater than their risk in community. And they're saying, you know something, instead of going out and trying to prevent violent crime, they're going out to solve violent crimes. Big difference when you talk about prevent violent crime versus solve violent crime. Solving means that the crime already happened. And now we're seeing that for the first time in many, many years, the murder rates across the country are soaring. Sad day when these things start happening in this manner. Obviously, we're seeing that in a lot of areas. And we're starting to get a little bit complacent to it. The crime rates, you start seeing now that every week or every couple of weeks, we see government hackings, the government losing data. Well, the latest Office of Personnel Management reports that 21.5 million people who have undergone background checks for security clearances, their data has been stolen. And this one is even worse because the references that they put down, the references data has been stolen. And if it was something new, that would be something that we could somewhat live with. You have to correct it. But apparently the OPM, this government office, has known about this vulnerability for about 8 years now. It's not a new issue. What are you doing about it? I've shared with you many times, again, that you have to watch your credit report. Go to creditsanitizer.com, creditsanitizer.com. You can actually get information right there on LifeLock. So try and protect your credit. Do what you can. You need to take control of these things. The government is not looking out for you. They will not look out for you. Don't leave it to them. Take some control on your own. I know that LifeLock is owned by one of the big bureaus, and I hate promoting something from one of the big bureaus that really makes money by the loss of your data. But you got to still do what you can. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, yes, we will have the information about date night trivia presented by Reunion and Drink. We've got that date night package for you, so make sure you stay tuned. Boomerang buyers coming back to the real estate market. Are they really? Ways to lower your mortgage bill. Student loans, a problem for home buyers. And we're going to talk to Lisa Duarte about what's happening in the real estate market. You can reach me anytime at our easy for me to say, at our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, or on Twitter. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Southern California attorneys have over 15,000 real estate agents to call in Orange County for their personal and professional needs. Why do they overwhelmingly call Melinda Johnson? Simple. It's the Melinda Johnson trifecta. Melinda is an attorney, real estate broker, and realtor. Does your family deserve the same professional services California lawyers demand? Call Melinda Johnson at 714-863-5485. That's 714-863-5485. Or on the web at freedomfirstproperties.com.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Boomerang buyers coming back in force. That is the subject of today's real-time real estate segment, brought to you again by the Ron Siegel Radio VIP Hero Program. Love any program that deals with the heroes, the military, active, retired, reserve, law enforcement, firefighters, all the rest. If you want to know who's participating in the program, the real estate agents, the lenders, the title companies, the attorneys, credit repair people, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'd be happy to put you in touch with them. What is a boomerang buyer? talking in real estate terms, a boomerang buyer is one who's a former homeowner who's gone through a short sale, foreclosure, or bankruptcy in the past few years, been saving for a down payment in preparation of the expiration of the waiting period one day in order to qualify once again for a mortgage. Between 2006 and 2014, over 7 million homeowners went through a short sale or foreclosure. These are national numbers. In 2014, 350,000 homes were sold to return buyers, the boomerangs. According to the National Association of Realtors, up to 1 million consumers have already restored their credit. Where are the rest of them? They got to get on the job and get their credit restored. Many borrowers who lost their homes to foreclosure have had that blemish wiped from their credit reports, making them again eligible for FHA and other mortgages. This could provide a tailwind for the market. That's according to the State of Nations Housing Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard University. Looking at 2015, 2.2 million consumers will meet requirements for a mortgage in the next 5 years. That's according to the study. They're not looking at some of the new products that are coming on the market either, which will allow you to buy a home one day out of short sale, out of foreclosure. These products are back. No one thought they'd come back so quickly. Yes, they are at a higher interest rate, but that's relative. When you think about 2005, 6, 7, interest rates at that time, the biggest loan programs were at about 7.5%. Today, we're looking at about 4% interest, give or take, depending upon your qualifications, some lower, some higher. Even if you had to pay 6.5% or 7% to get a house, pay your mortgage instead of somebody else's, aren't you better off? That's my contention. And if you want to chat about it, give me a call, 800-306-1990. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, again, brought to you by the VIP Hero program. This morning, we're going to chat with Lisa Duarte, Legacy Group Realty. And Lisa's from an area that probably knows all too well about these homes that had problems. The area you cover was probably ground zero, isn't it, Lisa?
Ground zero, battleground, still recovering. We still have quite a bit to do to get back up to where we should be.
So were you in the business at that time?
I was. I started back in 2004, 2005.
So you got to see a little bit of the good time and all the tough stuff.
Yeah, I had like a good 2-year roll before I hit the ground hard.
And a lot of people did. I mean, people think that it was the heyday of business, just because you're in real estate or because you're in mortgage lending. And the fact of the matter was, maybe the first half of the century, that 5-year period there was really good. Mm-hmm. But just like everybody else, the homeowners got hit, the real estate professionals.
Everybody got hit. I saw so many people go through the effects of the market. Even if self-employed people, of course, got hit worse.
Right.
They were the ones that they were dramatically hit. Then it went down because they were out of work. The people that were W-2, the regular 9-to-5 people, they even got hit because jobs were getting let go, jobs were scarce, and they were getting laid off. It was a trickle effect.
Sure. The whole economy was taking a dive, and obviously, unfortunately, I'll get a little political. A lot of politicians don't realize that the first to get hurt are going to be the working people.
Right.
The business owners, they're going to do everything they can to maintain their lifestyle.
Right. And that means letting go of the
Right. They're going to let go of the entry level or the working force. And then you look at it and say, well, why did they do that? Well, it's self-preservation.
Right. Survival.
And you're in the Inland Empire mostly?
I am.
Okay, so the Inland Empire in California, obviously, they got 40, 50, 60% haircuts on the property values?
Oh, gosh. We sold a home in 2006 for an average of $335. In 2007 to 2009, it sold for $150.
Wow.
Yeah. Huge cut.
And those are good people. Mm-hmm. That's the problem with what happened in our society so much. We overcompensate, right? I mean, it's kind of like we have these people that are getting really hurt, and then to add insult to injury, we close down all the loan programs.
Right.
Right? I mean, those people really, good things happen or bad things happen to good people.
And, it just discouraged them. They didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel, and they had to wait several years before they can actually get back up there and buy again, and that was discouraging.
Right. Are you starting to see some of them coming back into the market, or are they able to do anything?
So many people. We were talking about the boomerang buyers earlier. That's exactly what we're dealing with right now. A lot of people, a lot of programs are out there to help them get back into the market, back into the buying game. They don't want to rent forever. They know the benefits of owning a home. Everybody, the dream is to own a home.
Absolutely.
And they're doing everything they can, and they are getting back up there and buying homes again.
It's nice to see because, we know that I think the last numbers I saw, the household net worth is 35 times greater for a home owner than a home renter. And I think they're good people. It's amazing that we haven't found a way, or some of the big hedge funds. People like to chastise the hedge funds, but they serve a great purpose because a lot of those people, I think, would have been willing to pay above market if they could get a loan.
They would have. They would have done whatever it took to get into a home or stay in their home.
Sure.
But the option wasn't there at the time.
So do you see a good return on investment now? Is the market heading backward? Are we back up in the positive direction?
It is. We're heading back up. We're not going to see the same cycle we saw back in the 2004 to 2005, and then of course when the market crashed. We're not going to see that same spike, but it is gradually moving up there. And it's not because of anything else other than buyer's demand. So if you have 4 homes for sale, you're going to have buyers bidding over and above the appraised value in certain areas. Of course, location is always key.
Sure.
But buyers are the ones that are demanding the market value now. They are the ones that are designating the new price of today.
So do you see the sellers, does it matter what they list for then, if the buyers are going to really to make the final determination?
I've always believed that the sellers should be realistic. If they really want to sell their home, they need to be realistic in what they're going to list their house at. Every seller wants the top dollar for their home. Bottom line is we have to wait on the appraisal. They can only get financed according to the appraisal, as you know, unless you have out-of-pocket money to come in over and above. So they need to be realistic when they list their homes, but they are getting what they want for their homes right now.
That's a good conversation for us to have. I'm in the middle of right now consulting with a family. It's actually in downtown Los Angeles, and the property went up for sale at $549,000, and so far the bidding war is at $638,000.
Then they would see there's a few different games agents and sellers can play. I don't like to call it games, but in reality, that's pretty much what it is. You can either start your bid off extremely low, attract every single buyer you can possibly attract, and then weed out the ones that really can't go up more than the listed price. They're realistically looking for a $549,000 property. But then you find the ones that are doing their homework, researching the property values in that area. They're going to put their bid in and just get themselves in the game. And they know it's going to go up about $75,000, and they're prepared for that.
It's an interesting, as you say, it's a game. I mean, it's a strategy.
It is.
And I think as some of the buyers can be frustrated if they're a low information buyer, right? Because they're thinking that, why they don't stop and say, okay, it's a $700,000 neighborhood. I don't know what the neighborhood is on this one, but they're not thinking that it's a $700,000 neighborhood with a $550,000 asking price. Why?
And it takes a while for them to get educated and for them to get used to how this works. If it's a brand new buyer, they're going to say, oh, this is the property for me. This is right in my price range. It's a beautiful location. It's up to us as agents to educate them on how this works. If they're going to look at a certain price range of $549,000, they need to look in that market of $549,000 because that house will not sell for $549,000.
Right.
We know that. But we need to have our buyers, our clients trust us when we tell them what it's going to realistically go for.
And the irony there, and I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to want to talk about that more in the next segment, is it's easy to find that $549,000 property online.
Right.
But when you go to whatever that online service is, whether you found it on Zillow or Trulia or wherever, that service doesn't say that this property is probably not going to sell for the price it's listed at.
And not only that, a lot of those online free sites they're not up to date. They're not as up to date as frequently as our MLS. I always tell my buyers, they're always sending me properties. I found this one on Trulia. Can you tell me what's going on with it? I check it according to my MLS. It's already pending.
Right.
Because they're not kept up to date as quickly as our MLS is. Absolutely.
And that's the idea of you're spending a lot of money. And I don't care whether it's $200,000 for your first house or it's $2 million for your dream house. It's a lot of money to you. Mm-hmm. And don't try and do it on your own, because most of the time, you're not going to win that way. And we're going to talk about that more when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Great counsel. That will be part of our conversation when we come back. Ways to lower your mortgage bill. Student loans, a problem for home buyers. All that and more. You can reach us anytime. The off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Attention homeowner 62 and older. Do you worry if you can afford to keep your home? Are you concerned about paying all your monthly expenses? Or do you simply wish you could live a better retirement? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you may qualify for a program that can help. It's called FHA Reverse Mortgage. It's insured by the federal government. You'll receive tax-free money. You aren't required to make any monthly mortgage payments, and you still own your home. Siegel Lending Team is a local leader in FHA reverse mortgages. Call free to get your free reverse mortgage guide, free custom quote. And when you call now, you can get all your questions answered by local experts. There is no monthly mortgage payment and tax-free money you can use for healthcare expenses, home improvements, or just live a better retirement with peace of mind. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-1990 to get your free reverse mortgage guide and quote. You'll also find them on the web at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Call 800-306-1990 now.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today brought to you by Commerce for a Cause. Great organization. If you have a business, you accept credit cards, you're paying some sort of a credit card processing fee. Commerce for a Cause will match that fee and then take 20% of the fee and donate it to the charity of your choice. Love that concept. Helping out the community. You can make a call as to who the charity is. Give me a call at 800-306-1990. I will put you in touch with the folks at Commerce for a Cause. Great organization. Ways to lower your mortgage bill. Number one, hopefully you were listening earlier in the week when I told you to refinance then before the Greece situation cleared itself at all. Now that we see a little bit of hope on the horizon for Greece, starting to see interest rates bounce up a little bit, although they did come off their highs of the day. Refinance at a lower rate. Again, with the idea of refinancing or buying, I've shared this with you on a regular basis. Don't worry about where interest rates were. Who cares? You can't get interest rates based on what the prices were 2 or 3 or 4 months ago. Now, you can take advantage of the market today and lock in today, and if the rates go up, you're locked in. If the rates go down, refinance again. Who cares? Think about it. If you save $100 a month, $1,200 a year, over $30,000 for the life of the loan, then I hear people say, well, but it's going to cost me a couple $1,000s, Ron, to refinance. Well, let me ask you this. How many times did you trade $2,000 for $30,000? Seems like a no-brainer to me. Shop around for homeowners insurance. I've told you this one also. If you're not checking your homeowners insurance at least once a year, or all of your insurances at least once a year, find out. If you don't have a great agent who's calling you that often, give me a call. I'll put you in touch with one. You may have the right insurance coverage for your family. You may not. Look at it. Take a look at your tax bill. You can see if you are entitled to a lower property tax assessment. Maybe you want to make more extra mortgage payments. Maybe you want to call your bank. They're probably not going to do it. Ask them if they'll recast your mortgage into a lower rate. The big one, if you've owned your house for more than a year, some areas even 6 months, see if you can get rid of your mortgage insurance. Properties are appreciating. That's why I share all the time. If you can qualify for an adjustable rate FHA loan, you're far better off with the adjustable rate FHA than you are with a fixed rate FHA. Why? Because you're going to want to get rid of that mortgage insurance. It's almost 1 full percentage point. So even if interest rates go up a little bit, you're better off refinancing and get rid of that mortgage insurance. It's all about the Benjamin Franklins at the end of the month. And don't worry about interest rates. How many dollars does it take to meet your obligation at the end of the month? That's the number that counts, and that is the Mortgage Minute, again brought to you by Commerce for a Cause. I'm chatting this morning with Lisa Duarte, Legacy Group Realty. Lisa's a real estate broker, got into the industry for a couple of good years, and then got the experience of a little bit tighter real estate market. That's good for you, though, and that's what I wanted to chat about. We started talking about this before the break, about these different organizations, different groups, or websites. A lot of people, especially the millennials, are of the belief that, I don't need a real estate agent. I don't need a professional. I can buy my insurance online. I can go and get all the information about a house online, all of these things. And yeah, you can get some data online. The question that you don't know, is it accurate data? That's the big question right there. And in many instances, it's not accurate. Sometimes it is, but you don't know the difference between the two. If you're looking at spending $200,000, $300,000, $500,000, $1 million for a house, do you want to take a risk? Or do you want to give me a call at 800-306-1990, and I can put you in touch with a great real estate agent like Lisa who can help you with professional guidance. And Lisa, we were talking about that one strategy before the break where a seller, probably with the guidance of a real estate professional, will list a house significantly under market. And I've reported on some studies that say if you list your house at 90 or 85% of market, 90% of the people in your target price range are going to see it.
Correct.
Whereas if you list your house at 15% over market, only 20 or 30% of your target price range you're going to see it.
Correct. You're not going to get the traffic at the higher listed price.
So do you see that the additional traffic translates into a higher closing price?
Absolutely. Higher traffic means word of mouth. somebody sees it, somebody knows somebody who's in that price range if it doesn't fit their needs. So the word gets out.
Does it sell faster or slower, or which do you see there from a time on market standpoint?
Absolutely faster. I'd say 70% faster than if they had it listed over on an actual list price, higher list price than a little bit of a lower 85% price.
Interesting. Okay, so we're going to, those are kind of the benefits you really want to look at, and you say, okay, my property is going to sell for more money. It's going to sell faster. What's the downside?
It actually wouldn't sell for more money. It would sell for more money than they're listed at, but it would sell for the right amount of money.
Okay.
So they're not going to get any more or less than they would have if they listed it at the higher price. It would just take a lot longer and a lot more frustration. A few offers coming in that they're going to be upset about because they're at a lower price, which should have been the price that we were going to be listing it in the first place.
How are you able to get people to listen to you?
Generally, yes. I do have the ones that are sticklers, and they believe that their house is worth this much because Bob's house around the corner is sold for this much, and my house is way better than Bob's, so mine should sell for a lot more than his.
Have you ever noticed anybody that doesn't have the nicest house on the block?
Nope. Everybody's house is the nicest house on the
Right?
block.
I mean, it's their house. They've got that emotional tie.
Oh, yes.
And I chat all the time. As soon as you make the decision to sell, I don't hear too many people using this terminology, but get divorced from your property.
It's true. They have to emotionally detach themselves. And I tell them, take down the pictures from the walls, take down anything that's sets you as a part of this home. Detach yourself and realize that this is not going to be your home anymore. You're moving on to bigger and better things. So prepare yourself for that.
So I'm looking at a picture on my computer screen here. And it basically is telling me that there's a property here that you had listed, and I think you told me that it sold pretty quick. Tell us the strategy of how you got this sold so quickly.
Well, this one also, sellers wanted to list it at a certain price. They wanted a certain amount. They're moving up north, and this home is gorgeous. It's beautiful. They've kept very well care of. A lot of care put into this home. Nothing was wrong with the property. They wanted to list it at $390. I did my comps, I did my research. Honestly, the house should sell for $370. And I told them that. I said, look, and they were adamant about listing it at $390, $395 even. I said, okay, do me a favor. I will list it for you for $395. Let's wait 2 weeks, see what kind of traffic we get. If we get minimal traffic, 1 or 2 people coming to look at your property, we have it listed too high. I know this because this is what I do.
Sure.
We did. We listed it at $395. We had two agents showing the property. And after the 2 weeks, they did what they asked. They did what I asked, and they lowered the price. $370. We had it sold 2 weeks.
So it's amazing how. So that gives us. That's the point that I wanted to make. Is as a consumer, we think we know, right? I mean, I don't know about all of your background. I would suggest that maybe if I asked you what the selling price is of a Maserati Galdi, whatever that new car is, you may not know. Right? That's not your expertise. It's not my expertise. But when you look at a piece of property that's in an area that you focus on, it doesn't take very long for you to say, okay, I know the house 3 doors down and it sold for X, and I know the house around the corner and it sold for Y. So your house should sell for somewhere in there.
Right?
I mean, that's called experience.
And it's true. And we had the appraisal done. The appraisal came in $1,000 over the price that we have offered. I technically can't say because we're still in escrow, but the appraisal came in right at the amount that I told him it was going to sell for.
Interesting. So that's just the idea. And now I'm going to ask you another question. I think I know the answer to it. When you've gone out and listed properties, have you ever known anybody that really wanted their house listed, or do they really want their house sold?
They want their house sold.
Right? It's not an idea of it's not fun having to keep your house in show quality all the time.
Right. And people coming in and out, you don't know. You have to be prepared to leave the property if you're living in the property so somebody can come and view it. It's uncomfortable if the sellers are still there while other people are there to view the property. So my advice is always leave the property so it can get shown properly.
And then the bottom line there is if that's all the case, and I hear that all over the state with agents that I talk to, is sellers want their property sold, not listed. If they can get it sold without having a sign in front and without having a lockbox, they'd be even happier.
Oh yeah.
Right? I mean, like going into the Walmart and saying, okay, there's the property I want and it's sold.
Right.
Right? That's what they really want. It's not reality in home sales. But if that's the case, why not just listen to the professional? They're out there doing this on a regular basis. They know what your property is going to sell for. And you know something? I'll say something that's just very, very blunt as well. The real estate agents don't want your house listed either. They want it sold because they don't make any money when your property is listed. They make money when you're satisfied and refer people over and over and over again for sold, closed transactions. We're going to talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Student loans, a problem for home buyers, and of course, it's Friday, so we've got Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. I've got the question. If you have the answer, put it right there on Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook, or you can just reach out to me at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter at Ron Siegel, and now all the shows are on YouTube too. Stay tuned, we'll be back in just a few.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and BCAL number 018694452.
Ron Siegel Radio Date Night Trivia, presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Friday, Ron will pose a question based on-air conversations during the prior 7 programs. The person to post the answer according to the guest conversation will win a date night package, including a dinner gift card for Reunion Kitchen and Drink. You might even be able to say hi to Ron when you visit Reunion Kitchen and Drink.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Word on Wealth segment today brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. They're all wrong. I've never seen one that isn't. Been looking at credit reports since the 90s, Rondi and I have made the offer to many, many people, actually to you. $1,000 if you can show me a completely accurate credit report. Now, I am not saying that a perfect score. I'm just saying completely accurate. And the only reason I make that offer is because I'm cheap, and I know that I'm not going to have to pay off because I've never seen a completely accurate report. It's just the way they are. Student loans, a problem for home buyers. I've shared this with you many, many times. If you're thinking about buying a home, it's not a issue like I mentioned in the last segment. You don't go to Walmart and say, I like that one, I'll buy it. Unless you've got a lot of cash. Then you can do that. But for most of us, we need to get financing. We need to do our diligence ahead of time. Part of that means looking at your credit report, understanding what you qualify for based on what lenders look at, not what you think you qualify for. Because there are certain items on there, and then there's strategies involved. Obviously, the credit report is one of them. Do you have some negative or derogatory items that are holding you back? The other one, student loans. It's amazing. It's been so easy for the last 10, 12 years to get student loans. So easy, way too easy, that our kids are now have way too much student loan debt. And there are some programs out there to help the kids. You just have to know that you've got to make the phone calls. You've got to do your homework to find those programs. They've got some need-based programs that say, you know something, you're newly out of college, your loans are supposed to start being repaid. You can't afford them, so we're not going to charge you the full amount. And as soon as they put a reduced amount on your credit report, then your ability to qualify will increase, or your purchasing power will increase, because your debt to income ratio will be better. If you don't understand all of that, I understand that you don't understand. So give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll explain it to you, and I'll put you in touch with the people that can help you with that. That's just the way it works. Before we go any further, I better tell you about trivia, because I want somebody to go on a date. Maybe me. Don't tell my wife. So, Ron Siegel Radio Date Night presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. If you win the package, you might see my wife and I there. Don't I just kid about that. I jest a lot. Per Robert Mott, what is the fastest way to chill a bottle of wine? Robert's with us every Wednesday. And you didn't hear me say where you can find the answer. Per Robert Mott, what is the fastest way to chill a bottle of wine? If you're the third person to put the correct answer, right there, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, you'll see the heart indicating it is Date Night Trivia with Ron Siegel Radio, presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. What did Robert Mott tell us? He gave us the exact way. Fastest way to chill a bottle of wine. Be specific. That is the question. So there it is. Our friends from Reunion Kitchen and Drink. They've got dinner for two. Great restaurant. I'm there more often than I should be. Come say hi if you see me. Dinner for two, movies, little Starbucks gift card we throw in. That is the issues right there. Date Night Trivia presented by Reunion Kitchen and Drink. Continuing our conversation about great real estate counsel with Lisa Duarte, Legacy Group Realty. So Lisa, are we starting to see, I know you were in ground zero for all of our training in real estate, I guess, with the market meltdown. Are you starting to see, is there still a lot of that out there, the short sales, is the distress sales?
No, that's declined dramatically. I have one short sale right now, whereas generally I would have about 5 to 7 short sale listings at any given time. Now I have one.
Interesting. So let me ask, let's kind of tie this back to what we've been chatting about. Historically, we look and we say, okay, a short sale is going to have certain characteristics as a consumer looking at that product. So we know that it's going to take a little longer in most instances for the transaction. We expect we're going to get a much, much better price.
Well, it will definitely take longer depending on the bank. If it's a bank that's well versed in doing short sales, they can go much quicker. If it's a smaller bank, they can take up to 6 to 9 months. Months.
Wow.
The bigger banks, Chase, Bank of America, those were taking about 60 to 90 days.
Okay.
And the smaller banks such as PNC or Green Tree, something like that, they would take 6 to 9 months. I have one currently that we're going on a year.
Wow.
1 year.
But now, if I've got the patience to last that long, what kind of a savings can I see in a percentage-wise?
Typically, well, back then, a couple years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, you were seeing a dramatic savings. A house that should have sold for about $400, you'll get it for $250.
Okay.
Now they're changing rules quite a bit. So now they are sending out their own brokers' priced opinions, reports, and appraisals, and they want to list it or sell it near market value. So the short sales are not the same short sales that we were used to a few years back. That's what's changing everything so much, and that's what's making buyers veer away from the short sales and just go right to standards.
Yeah, I was going to say if you're gonna pay basically market value, what's the benefit of waiting so long?
There isn't any benefit anymore. Not only that, the banks will not do any repairs. They will not do any termites. They will not do anything to help the consumer purchase a property at a fair price, much less something that they would benefit from.
So my thinking is if you're thinking that that's the right way, you missed the boat.
Yeah, right now is a time where you definitely miss the boat. Right now, the people that have sold during short sales, like you mentioned earlier, they're now buying again regular standard sales.
What are your thoughts about the person that says, I can't sell my house until I fix it up?
I hear that all the time, and I always recommend do the minimal, do something that's going to fix it, mow your lawn, make it look nice, give it curb appeal. Do not put any money into it until we get the buyer to see what kind of repairs are going to be requested, because there are always going to be repairs requested from the buyer.
What are you seeing? It's a kind of a real timely issue. As you said about mow the lawn. Are the brown lawns, is it deterring from sales?
Curb appeal, first impressions are the most that's going to stick with any buyer no matter what. So you want to have your house looking clean. You want to have the yard kept up, the maintenance kept up. You want to have something that the buyer